This is Balling Out once again, back at you. Sean, Nate, Grant, coming to you guys, another episode. Hot Take Mondays. So today is Monday. Obviously, we're gonna bring you guys our hot take. I've gone back and watched these, a couple times. Some of them have been, hot, spicy. Some of them have, just not hit. So they've been terrible takes. But then there's been some others, that still got some time. So, we'll do this again and continue to, give our takes and whatnot. Who wants to go first?
I can start it off.
All right, let's hear it. Let's go.
My hot take, it ain't nothing crazy, but just kind of looking at the future. My hot take for the Eastern Conference specifically is we are going to have a 1 versus 2 matchup going into or going to be the Pistons and the Knicks. My hot take is I think the Knicks actually jump us for the 1 seed at some point, and we simmered on at the 2 spot. So then we're going to go see them in the playoffs, and then we're basically going to take last year as a learning lesson and not necessarily sweep, but I think we get either 4-1 or 4-2 over the Knicks. I think we beat the living daylights out of them in the
conference final would be elite. A gentleman sweep in the Eastern Conference Finals for the Pistons. Oh, that'd be hype. Nah, I like it though. I think, and this goes back to what we said, earlier. I think the Pistons and the Knicks are top 2 teams in the East right now. And I think, that'll, as the season goes on, continue. So, yeah, no, I like that. I think that the Pistons, I think, will stay at the 1 seed, though. I don't know if that's a little bit biased or whatnot, but I see what you're saying, though, that they could possibly just get jumped a little bit just because of the star power that the Knicks have, a little bit over the Pistons.
The Knicks just like they shoot the ball a little bit better. I mean, we're both kind of up there defensively. Bounding, that's where I would give us the edge. I think we hit the boards hard, and that's like something I think is going to play out. And that's what I think plays out in the playoffs for sure. That's why I think regular season we could also fall down. Because you're talking an 82-game season. You're going to drop a couple. You're going to lose 5 in a row while somebody else might win 5. It's just kind of the way things go at times. So that's why I think, if anything, I think we slipped to 2 though. But I don't think we go below that even. I still think there's anybody else that's going to jump us. Like Raptors, Celtics, Magic, they could get hot. But I don't think that puts us in jeopardy of getting switched around at the end of the season, particularly. So a lot of things with that hot take. But yeah, I think that's what we do. Mostly, I think we get it done with us being a 2 seed in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then we beat the Knicks.
Yeah, from our lifetime, doesn't look like the Knicks are ever going to make the finals anytime soon. So, I would put my money on Detroit for that one. But kind of switching gears, I only made this hot take because I think I saw an article that said something about how Zion might be one of the biggest draft busts of the decade. And my hot take was, I don't think he's going to play the rest of the season. And if he does play, it's going to be on a different team other than New Orleans. Because, I think they have 3 wins this season so far. And nothing is going right over there. I feel like the whole Pelicans organization, their history, I know we were talking a lot about the Clippers earlier on, but they might be even more in a down bad spot than any other franchise. It just, nothing ever goes right for them. You get a guy like Zion who's supposed to be the next generational prospect, and he can't even stay on the court. So, he gets hurt again this season, and from what I've been seeing, it doesn't look like he's coming back anytime soon. So, I know, Sean, you had said the trade deadline opens up pretty soon. It's going to be interesting to see what the Pelicans are obviously not doing shit the rest of the season, but are they going to say, hey, let's try another year Zion, or are they going to just say, let's move on?
What do you think? So, it's funny that, the former 2 Pistons dudes there in New Orleans, Joe Dumars and Weaver, where do you think he goes though? That's what, I agree that he's probably on his last, hope in New Orleans, but I don't know where he goes. Who gets him?
Honestly, at this point, what is his value even? Is he? Are they gonna try to trade him for an actual player like LaMelo Ball or something, or are they gonna try to just get picks? I don't know even if contenders would want him is the thing, because there's no reliability of him playing at all. Maybe a culture change would help, but like I don't see a team in the top 5 of the West wanting to go for him, and actually putting a lot of assets into trading for him. So, shoot, I mean, Kings send Zach LaVine or something. I don't know.
Let him go ride in Sacramento.
Yeah, exactly, something like that. I don't know. Put him on another bad team, but just like a little bit higher in the standings. See if he does anything. I don't know. I know. If I was a GM, I wouldn't trade for him.
No.
But it's just like no need. Like you even see like they're talking about trading AD. Like what's his value
Yeah.
worth? And that's some guy that's actually like got more proven results. Like yeah, he's got
Right.
injury history too, but like, he's actually also done it too. But
Yeah.
even his value right now, yeah, I get it. He's older too. Like, I'm not saying like compared to Zion, not like old, but like at the end of the day, what is Zion going to be worth? Like I'm not trading him for a bag of chips at this point.
Exactly what I'm trying to say.
I'm hungry. Yeah, so it doesn't make any sense for me. There's nothing. Like it maybe
Yeah.
I mean, like you'd have to be like again to even make it make sense for the Pelicans too. Like I mean, take a chance just to give what like a second rounder just for. I mean,
Yeah.
like if you're the Pelicans, I mean, yeah, I guess it's some. But it doesn't make sense for anybody. Honestly, it just nobody wants it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe they
So
could package him with Trey Murphy or something like that, but it's like,
It's what you'd have to do.
yeah, at
Package
that
him with
point, then it's
something.
like you're really just saying, hey, we're gonna give up a better asset and add on Zion to try to get a little bit more. So
Yeah, exactly.
it is funny though that Troy Weaver and Joe Dumars are the ones. I mean, they traded their pick. They traded their pick last season for Derek Queen, who Derek Queen, he's been playing all right, but it's if they would have had a lottery pick this upcoming year, then you maybe could have actually done something.
Yeah, I don't. That's the thing. Like I'm sitting here thinking, like I don't know where he could go. And here's the funny thing: I was, looking up when you were talking. So his contract next year is non-guaranteed. It's not fully guaranteed until July 15th. So if they don't end up trading him because nobody wants him, they could at the end of the season just let him go.
Which would be crazy.
That would be crazy because you're letting your number one overall pick just let him go. And you're not getting anything back in return. I don't think they would want to do that, but at the same time, it's Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just go, let's go ahead and do it. we've seen some crazy stuff in our lifetime with both of those dudes. So I would not be surprised. I just he would have to be more or less because his contract. Here's the thing: he's making $39 million a year. Who's going to trade for that?
Nobody.
You're trading for that. That's at least 2 players. They're going to ask for some type of pick, and so it's just like it's not worth all of that. And he can barely string together 5 games in a row before he's out for 2 months. So I don't know. It's that's crazy. Zion, probably has to be one of the biggest busts in the league. Greg Oden can rest now. He can. Greg Oden can rest. Yeah. That kind of goes into my hot take. It deals with another player that was drafted in the same draft class actually. Trae Young. He's been in the Atlanta Hawks. He had that 1 year where he took the Hawks to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then since then it's just been 500 ball. Right? He's out right now. He has been for about the past month. The Hawks without him have a 12-8 record. I think that my hot take is pretty much that I think that them signing Noah this offseason, they're able to get their franchise point guard who they want. He brings defense, struggles on the offensive side a little bit, but he can get it done. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, without Trae Young this year, 21.9 points, 3.7 rebounds, 3.5 assists on 48% shooting. He's not even their best player. The best player, Jalen Johnson, 24 points.
Who's been going off?
And 9 assists. Who's been going off. I mean, he will be an all-star this year. He could possibly be on second team. It just depends on, how the dominoes fall. But I think the Hawks are starting to realize that Trae Young is not needed anymore. So, they didn't sign him to an extension this past offseason. So, he's could be a free agent coming summer, with his player option, could opt in or opt out. So, I just think that the Hawks are better without Trae Young. I think they're a much better team all around defensively. Offensively, you make up for it. Jalen Johnson has taken a leap. Nickeil Alexander-Walker has taken a leap. They got some other guys. You got some vets, and Chris Stapps that have, kind of helped this team, be where they are right now. I mean, in the Eastern Conference, they are sitting right now at the 9th seed at 14-11. But I mean, you're tied with the Cavs, and then you're only a half game behind the Heat and the Magic and the Sixers. So you're only a half game down from this place right now. And that's all been without your franchise star player. So I think that, the Hawks are the front office. I think they're going to, evaluate that. Could Trae Young possibly be traded at the trade deadline? I don't know. I think they probably waited out until the summer. But I do think that whether it be at the deadline or the summer, that Trae Young is no longer an Atlanta Hawks. And, it's funny because I said the same thing about John Morant. I think, LaMelo Ball, I read an article that said those three players are like, you could trade them for each other essentially. And they would, because their trade value, it's just, LaMelo Ball, okay, you're going to get flashy offense. Trae Young, you're going to get offense, you're going to get shooting, you're going to get, his pass. John Morant, you're going to get cool dunks. But other than that, like, those three have kind of peaked, Like, John Morant, ever since he said he was fine in the West, he has not been fine in the West. Since Trae Young, since the run, he's been 500 ball. LaMelo Ball can't stay healthy, So it's just like, I think, I don't know if it's just like their playing styles or whatnot, but I kind of see them all in like the same tier. I kind of put them, with Zion, in your take, what you said, Nate. But I don't know what you could trade for him. I don't know what you could get with him. But yeah, for this hot take, I got, Trae Young. He's not going to be at Atlanta Hawks. I think the Hawks are better. I think with Nah, they see kind of, SGA, he's his cousin. I think they can kind of see, if we give him the keys, him and Jalen Johnson, maybe we could do a little, OKC reminiscence or something like that.
That's crazy.
Hey, I was just saying.
You got that aura because it's
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Nah, I like that take. I mean, it has been Jalen Johnson, of course, has been on a tear, and he can clearly become their franchise guy. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that they end up wanting to move away from Trae.
Yeah. See, like, I don't know. I think he would actually still have some decent value. Trae would. Like, at the end of the day, I think there's somebody that would still want to go after him. Like, kind of what we're talking about just with value with Zion. Like, Zion has got no value because he hasn't produced anything. He hasn't had the battle against New York, in the playoffs. He hasn't had that moment. Like,
yeah.
Like all those guys you mentioned basically have like a moment where, yeah, maybe it was a couple of years ago, maybe it's not right this second, but we're not like, I don't know, John Moran, I don't know. His is just different too, because it's a lot of like the off the court stuff too, or what stuff he's doing on the court. What I'm talking about. He's got all that. Trae Young, like you obviously know he's gonna be talking his talk and stuff like that. And he's gonna have more, kind of like a flashy offense, shooting threes. Like he can pass the ball, he can pass the rock, he can do all that sort of stuff too. There's like a middle of the pack team that like you could take him and say, you know what, this is gonna be the kind of guy we build around and do something there. So I think at the end of the day, if you're the Hawks, I think it's a great idea. Kind of like what you just said. You got two guys that are young. You believe they can really make a difference right now and put your organization ahead, ahead of schedule in that sense. So I think right now, if you're gonna do it, now's the time. Because if you don't do it now. You don't do it 2 years from now, 3. Like you're just losing value at this point. Like the quicker you could have done it to then, for just sticking on the example of Trae Young, when he did knock off Knicks in the playoffs, that's the time when you want to do it right after that. It's hard to just like send him away, but that's when his value is at the highest there.
Right.
So you want to try to do that kind of as soon as you can. So that's why I tend to agree with you. I think if it doesn't happen maybe midway like at the trade deadline, which I kind of think it will, I think it for sure happens in the off season.
Yeah.
That's because it's just something you're kind of on a ticking time bomb, if you will, almost. Not in the sense that he's just going to get super bad and just suck. Like, if you want to get some good value for him while you still think you have these younger guys developing, you got to go for it. And you got to do it. You got to do it quick.
Yeah. I just think, like, not like I like Trae Young, but like I said, I liked watching him being the villain, in MSD. That was a great playoff series. him rolling the dice center court. That was great. But it's just since then he's just been, mid. And, people have said, oh, well, his teammates are hurt all the time and he has to do it himself. And well, now he's the one that's hurt and his teammates are carrying the load. And, they're looking like a good team. They're looking like a team that could possibly, I'm not going to say, go far and say, they can go to the East Conference Finals, but they could possibly win, a first round series, I think. Like, say they get, like Philly or Toronto or something like that. I'd take Atlanta over them, as of right now.
Well, I don't think Atlanta even expected Nikhil to be as good as he has been. Like,
oh yeah,
looking at his career, I mean, he bounced around to a couple teams, doing a couple different roles, whether it was be more of a defensive guy, and now in Atlanta, he actually is being able to score a little bit more and take more of that offensive load on the team, and they're seeing that, hey, we don't need a guy like Trae Young to average 28 for us when Nikhil can average 20 and then Jalen Johnson can average damn near a triple-double.
Yeah,
fair.
I think it's a perfect mix, and plus, their height too helps with it. Trae Young's on a little bit of the short side, and
right.
I think when you have taller guys, you're able to switch them around defensively too. I think it's just all around. Like I said, not a knock on Trae or anything like that. Like, he's a good player, but I just think his time in Atlanta is just, I don't think it's the right fit for him right now, like in his career. So where he goes, I don't know. You could hear from the grapevine he could go to the Clippers next off season.
Everybody.
But
what grapevine is that? I want some of that.
I want what you're drinking, man.
Yeah.
I seem to really believe that too.
I mean, hey, we can give him a max contract next year. I don't care.
Hey, it don't sound bad though.
Trae and L.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, that's our hot takes for this week. That was episode for this week that we got. We're getting closer to All-Star break and things like that, so we'll have to sit down and give our All-Star teams with a new format and look more into some players like mid-season awards and stuff of that matter. But yeah, that is all that we have for today. And until next time, we'll catch you guys.
Peace.